You're watching the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Sun setting on day 1 of 4 here in Clearwater. #1 team in the country, Texas Tech, taking on Northwestern out of the Big Ten. One of 40 games we will have here this weekend over the 4 days. The 7th year of the Invitational, which began back in 2019. Tech, one of 10 preseason ranked teams in the field, featuring 16 All-Americans. And Tech playing in one of our featured games this weekend as well. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough with you. Thanks for joining us for this nightcap here on Field 9. And we get the chance to see Texas Tech, early favorites to get back to the Women's College World Series this year.
Yeah, a lot of attention has been around this Texas Tech program because of their run at the national championship last year behind Nyjah Kennedy, and was a little bit unexpected. Jerry Glasgow, their head coach, thought they would be a great season if they made it to the World Series. Nevertheless, fighting for a national championship. So we'll get to see a different type of squad they have today.
Nyjah Kennedy, not one of our impact players in this game. They are brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater. Mia Williams, though, one of a number of transfers for Jerry Glasgow is.
Yeah, opening weekend, she had 13 RBIs, 9 extra base hits. She will be hitting in the 2-hole, a transfer from Florida. And then Kaylee Avasado for Northwestern had a tremendous season last season where had a ton of RBIs, 33 RBIs, led the team in that category, as well as 22 stolen bases. So a well-rounded Kaylee Avasado athlete that they have. This Northwestern team is fast, and they hit with a little bit of pop.
We mentioned the transfers. This is the #1 transfer class in the country in back-to-back seasons for Jerry Glasgow, and there are a bunch in the starting lineup today. Jerry, in his 2nd season at Texas Tech, of course, brought this program where they had never been last year, a historic year for the Red Raiders softball program, headlined, of course, by the National Pitcher of the Year, Nyjah Kennedy. Meanwhile, for Northwestern, Emma Blay gets the start for the Wildcats. Sophomore from Fresno, California.
Hardest thrower on staff. Our head coach, Kate Drohan, felt like she had a great outing on Sunday. This is a big start for her. Anytime that your coach gives you the ball against a team like Texas Tech, who one of their strengths is going to be their offense by far, you get the ball and you're showing up what will be a game under the lights, trying to shut them down.
And Kate Drohan told us, look, we're going to use 5 arms this year. They all offer a different look. They're trying to replace the All-Big Ten pitcher Lauren Boyd, who actually stayed on as a grad assistant, continuing to make an impact on the coaching side of things. But big change in the circle this year and in the entire pitching staff for Northwestern without that solid returning ace that they've enjoyed over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, she had a great career, big loss, but they're happy to have her on staff as a GA, and Coach Drohan says that she's been awesome as a part of the staff.
Strike 2 to Maya Davis.
And having to face somebody like Maya Davis early in this game, I mean, she just sets the tone for this Texas Tech team. Saw Texas Tech play live in person in College Station against Texas A&M, and she led off the game with a solo home run. And that's what she could do. She has this speed, too. And, earlier in her career, Matt, Maya Davis was really a slapper, going to lay down a bunt, but throughout the past 2 years of starting at Louisiana with Jerry Glasgow, where he was the head coach, and coming over to Texas Tech with him, her power has just grown and grown and grown. Always a home run threat.
Has been red hot to start the year. 11 for 20 with 6 runs batted in. 7-game hit streak after she went 1 for 3 today in the opening game victory against Florida State. Rematch, of course, of last year's Super Regional in Tallahassee. Payoff pitch.
I feel like,
Davis
too,
spoils it.
that Maya Davis is one of these players that just doesn't get enough credit for the career that she's had, both at Louisiana and what she's done now at Texas Tech, just continuing to evolve with her power, the defense that she plays in center field. Jerry Glasgow calls her one of the best center fielders in the country. Nyjah Kennedy loves that Davis is behind her in center field when Kennedy is in the circle.
9th pitch of the at-bat. And Davis scorches it up the middle, but right into the mid of Kylie Avasado. One away.
Emma Blay throws with really good velocity, upper 60s. She's confident in her drop ball, so she'll keep the ball down, and she's developing changing speeds with an off-speed and changeup. This is upper 60s, and you'll notice on our bug it's saying 66, 67. I personally think, this is just me, that the gun's been a little bit slow today by about 2 miles an hour. I think Emma Blay is going to bring it at about 68 miles an hour, but it's been popping up at about 66, 65 even.
We're all warming up here.
We're all warming up.
The gun included.
The gun just really trying to get going.
0-1 count to Mia Williams, one of half a dozen transfers in the starting lineup today for Texas Tech. Boy, they're really excited about her too. Had a monster season last year at Florida, second team All-American at second base, and Jerry Glasgow feels like she is somebody that might be the most improved hitter on the roster from the start of fall till now.
Had a lot of power at Florida too, learning from Tim Walton for her first 2 years and then coming over here.
Well, I'm not sure where that missed, and it seems based on your reaction, you're not either.
I'm very confused. That looked like a miss. It was right down the heart of the plate. This is 100% a strike. I'm sorry, you have to call that.
Instead, ball one. And Blay comes back with authority and paints the outer edge.
Did you hear the pop of that glove? That's the velocity that Emma Blay throws with. And there's like a fastball or a curveball in the outside corner. Her catcher, Emma Ray, is pumped up back behind the plate. So we have Blay in the circle, Emma Blay, and Emma Ray behind the circle. So the Emma battery getting fired up to get 2 up, 2 down.
That is rolled off the bag for Taylor Panel. A big roundabout first base. She'll stay put with a 2-out base knock.
Playing off the third base bag, True Medina is the third baseman. And it clearly is a fair ball with it hit in the back. Out in front of that one, off the end of the bat. Still going to go down as a hit for Panel.
So she extends the inning for the Southern Illinois transfer, Jackie Liss. Senior from Newburgh, Indiana.
And the thing about this Texas Tech lineup, and you think about, Matt, the presence that like an Oklahoma lineup has had with their offense the past few years, of just how scary they can be with their home run power and their presence. That's the type of aura with all the transfers and the power all throughout this lineup that Texas Tech has coming into this season. I mean, anybody is liable to leave the ballpark. You have to be just on top of things as a pitcher and the pitch calling because of all the power that they have and the experience that they have in this lineup.
Ended Oklahoma's quest for a 5th straight title last year en route to the Champ Series. That was a big deal for this program too, right? Like you mentioned, the aura of Patty Gasso's Oklahoma teams. They felt unbeatable for a long time in Oklahoma City.
Well, and it's just, and we can talk about this all game long because it's going to be a bigger conversation, I think, than 2 strikes and 2 outs here. But it's just a very different position for Texas Tech to be in from compared to the history of their program. I mean, the bullseye, the target is on Texas Tech. It's on Jerry Glasgow in just his 2nd season as the Texas Tech head coach.
Before Jerry got there last year, Tech as a program had won 49% of its games all time.
I mean, I played Texas Tech in the Big 12 at A&M, and those were honestly the types of games that you're like, cool, we played Texas Tech, like, we're not too worried about that. I mean, I'm just telling you the perspective of a player against them compared to now. They're the team that everybody is looking at, no matter if they're playing an unranked team in Northwestern or if they're playing a team like Nebraska and possibly facing Jordy formerly Ball, on Sunday night on ESPN. I mean, all eyes are on Texas Tech to see how they do this season.
Jackie Liss is 3-2, backhanded by Emma Blay, and a nice first inning for the sophomore pitcher. Gives Northwestern a chance to strike first against the #1 team in the nation. Red Raiders, who send Samantha Lincoln, the sophomore, into the circle for her first start of this tournament.
Kind of a three-headed monster that Jerry Glasgow has with his pitching staff. Nyjah Kennedy, Caitlin Terry, and then Sam Lincoln, the lefty, who he's really excited about. She has really good stuff, and a pitcher who, kind of unfortunately for her, will get a little overshadowed pitching behind Nyjah Kennedy and Caitlin Terry, who transfers to UCLA.
Grace Nito, the grad from Farmington Hills, Michigan, returning leadoff hitter on a team that brings back 90% of its plate production from last year. And part of the Senior Leadership Council, really the first time that Kate Drohan has done a Senior Leadership Council in the way that they did it this offseason. Spent a number of weeks in the summer meeting via Zoom when none of the young ladies were on campus, reading Jeff Jansen's book, Team Captain's Leadership. And she told us she thinks that's going to be a tradition going forward because of how impactful that has been on the rest of the team, particularly some of the youngsters that haven't played until this year. Goes down on strikes, one away.
Yeah, that Sam Lincoln drop ball is a pitch that is going to fall off the table for her, and a pitch that she can throw hard and down. I mean, that standing at 6 feet tall, it starts at a high level and is able to just drop off the table. So she's a left-handed pitcher with multiple speeds, will work low in the zone with her drop ball and her curve ball that you just saw there. This is a pitcher, Matt, who came in throwing 63, 64 with poor control. But Jerry Glasgow told us last year this is going to be like a personal record for her. Hit 73.6. His gain velocity. He's just really high on her. And Jerry Glasgow told us, look, you know, we have transfer pitchers. They're a big part of our program, but we also want to be known as a program that can develop pitchers, the ones that are with our program for multiple years. So he feels like Sam Lincoln is a big statement maker for that, working with Tara Archibald, the pitching coach, and Jerry's daughter, who's on staff. But she pitched 3 innings in the World Series last year in Game 3 in the Champ Series. Didn't give up any hits against Texas, 4 strikeouts and just a couple of walks. She really stood out with that outing.
And admittedly, at the end of last season, it was all Nyjah Kennedy. I mean, she pitched 36 consecutive innings in the Women's College World Series until Sam Lincoln came in Game 3 of the Champ Series. Jerry Glasgow said, look, that's not going to be the case this year, because of Sam Lincoln and, of course, Caitlin Terry, one of those transfers that you mentioned.
Really long levers that Sam Lincoln has. And, I mean, he really feels like, you know, by the end of this, when it's all said and done, that hopefully, you know, we make it to the World Series. Jerry Glasgow says we're not just talking about Nyjah Kennedy getting us there. It's going to be the complete pitching staff that gets us there.
Lincoln induces a pop-up to the right side. Second baseman Mia Williams makes the play, 2 away.
The next batter is the center fielder, Kaylee Avasado.
2 down now for Kaylee Avasado. Big Ten all-freshman team in 2025.
I mean, you see the movement that Lincoln had. That's a big swing and miss there by Avasado, a very good hitter. She's in the 3-hole for a reason. But a little bit of deceptiveness. She's coming from the left-hand side. Like, those are the types of swings and misses that Sam Lincoln can get. And I've heard from people who have faced her, from coaches who saw her play growing up. I mean, she is the real deal, and can't stress it enough. It's just going to be, you're going to kind of maybe forget about her because of Kennedy and Terry, but she also is an exceptional pitcher on this staff. And Coach Glasgow told us he's committed to starting her every third game. I mean, he is committed to working the rotation, not just relying on Nyjah to do the full load.
Ahead in the count, 1-2 to Kaylee Avasado. Jerry Glasgow told us that in preparation for being a more regularly used pitcher in the rotation, she spent 8 weeks of intense weight room work to strengthen that lower half, to be a more durable member of this pitching staff this year.
Yeah, it takes just all kind of work. Off the field, out of the bullpen, just taking care of yourself. All of these pitchers just having to put in the work to be a well-rounded pitcher that can gain speed and have endurance.
Up the middle, and a 2-out base knock for Avasado to extend the inning for Northwestern.
What a great at-bat by Kaylee Avasado. Remember how she looked in that first pitch when she swung and missed by a lot, then worked herself back into the count, fouled off some pitches, got one out over the plate, didn't try to do too much with it, just great hands right back up the middle of the field. Not a terribly located pitch by Lincoln, but just a great quality AB by Avasado.
Passes the bat to the cleanup hitter, Emma Ray. Ray, a flare into left field, and gliding on to make the catch, Desiree Spearman. Scoreless first inning between Texas Tech and Northwestern. Final game of day one here in Clearwater. Day here in Clearwater, Florida. Texas Tech, fresh off a win against a top 10 Florida State team, looking to make it 2-0 to start this tournament. Scoreless first inning brings Alana Johnson to the plate. Middle of the order due up first for Tech. Last year was a all Big 12 first teamer in her first season over from Washington. And Amanda, you brought up a great point. And really, Johnson is a microcosm of the bigger picture point, which is that for the first time as a program, Texas Tech is dealing with monster preseason expectations. Johnson, one of those. And what is it like to be a player that is at the top of the scouting report? What is it like to be the team that has #1 in front of your name and the bullseye on your back week in and week out?
Yeah, it's something that I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on with them, and I think a lot of different people are, because that's the type of stuff that matters. It's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of expectations, and how do you as a head coach, how do you and your coaching staff, how do you as a team just deal and handle that? It's just very different to go from being an unknown team without a target on your back to one of the ones with the biggest target on your back. It's something that you think about and feel. You start to feel it at practice. You feel it in pregame warm-ups. You, of course, feel it on game day. That pressure can just start to creep up. And how do you keep a team loose and playing for each other and with each other?
3-2 misses low, and Johnson draws a leadoff walk. Let's take a look at today's keys to the game, brought to you by Shriners Children's.
For Northwestern, against this powerful Texas Tech team, it's going to be to keep them in the yard, keep them from hitting home runs. And for Texas Tech, it's going to be to defend Northwestern's speed. Showed off some home run power too opening weekend. Northwestern's offense did. They hit 9 home runs themselves. So something that they wanted to focus on was more power offensively this year. But Texas Tech can score in a lot of different ways with this offense, but I really do feel like if you can just keep them in the ballpark, which is no easy task with these big swings, but you give yourself a chance.
Time called here. Jerry Glasgow wants to get together with his offense. Well, he is such a meticulous and detail-oriented coach when it comes to offense, mechanics, technique, plate approach, the whole gamut.
And he has Kayla Kowalik on his staff as well. Remember, she was at Kentucky, and she has been there now for 2 years with Jerry Glasgow. She works with the hitters as well, an All-American at Kentucky, had an outstanding summer playing with Athletes Unlimited and AUSL. But loves to talk the game, a hard worker herself, somebody that these Texas Tech players see her put in the work in the cages. I mean, just such a hard worker and sets such a great example for them with that hard work at practice in the cages and then here on game day in the field.
Ball low to Desiree Spearman. One of the new faces in Lubbock this year. Former Conference USA Freshman of the Year, Player of the Year at New Mexico State. Runner was going with that swing. Bounced foul. 2-2.
And you heard the Northwestern dugout helping you out. You heard that, right?
Oh, I heard it.
Did that tip you off, or did you see her go?
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what the catcher needs. They need the dugout to be loud and be their eyes, seeing that runner take off at first base and help give them a little bit head start to make that throw. Great
pitch. Wow, Emma Blay with her second strikeout. And again, Amanda, you can hear the pop of Emma Ray's mitt behind home plate.
Yeah, I think we just have great audio working for us. And this was even a changeup, perfectly placed, just fell off the table right in the outside corner, had Spearman way out in front of that. And Emma Blay fired up again, her second strikeout of the game.
Ball 2 to Lauren Allred, who made the journey over from Louisiana Lafayette with Jerry Glasgow ahead of last season.
Heard him again in the dugout. That runner goes, the dugout is just on it, trying to help Emma Ray, who has a great arm. Emma Ray, the catcher for Northwestern, had a couple of pickoffs opening weekend, so a real live arm back behind the plate.
Has caught 20 of 33 runners stealing in her career.
It's exceptional.
Fantastic weapon in the run game. And even her reflexes, Amanda, behind home when she's thinking about picking off a runner, just so fast. Hitters count, however, to Lauren Allred. Runner goes again. Popped up left side, it'll get out of play.
Alana Johnson just getting some sprint work over there at first base.
She's gonna be out of breath at some point here.
Double headers are hard enough as it is, even when you're not going 4 or 5 times in at bat, just sprinting trying to get to second.
Roped into the gap in right center. It'll find the wall. Off the bat of Lauren Allred. Here comes Johnson, and Tech takes the lead. Great at bat by Lauren Allred, who just continued to fight off pitch after pitch until she got one to square up.
Well, and last year, Coach Glasgow said about Allred that she has the most mechanically sound swing, and you see it when she goes down to get this drop ball inside, even a little bit off the plate, but still able to get her barrel out in front to that pitch to score the first run. That ball was absolutely crushed. Didn't that sound different coming off the bat?
Got all of the barrel. Remember, she was the one to knock in the game-winning run against Oklahoma to send Texas Tech to the Champ Series last year in the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City, and now passes the bat to Longi Quiroga, the junior from LA.
That's where these leadoff walks just come back to haunt you. No matter if we're at a Clearwater Invitational, February tournament, or we're at the Women's College World Series, that leadoff walk at every level is just always so tough to deal with and feels like it always comes around to score.
Quiroga, a freshman All-American at Cal a couple of years ago. Transferring in the offseason, looks at strike one.
The transfers that they brought into this program is truly just like a transfer all-star list that they brought in.
The envy of basically every team in America this year.
I mean, and we even have a player who hit 25 home runs last year from Ohio State with Jasmine Burns. She's not even starting this game, by the way. She's a 25 home run hitter in 1 year.
And Jerry Glasgow spoke to that. He said, you know, the staff was even a little bit worried about players expecting to get playing time who weren't going to get it. Maybe some drama that might create with all the stars that came in the offseason to Lubbock. And he said, to our pleasant surprise, we've had no drama, all buy-in. But he did admit making the lineup card every day is an impossible task.
It's going to be hard. And, you know, it's just one of those other things that internally I'm sure you're just going to have to deal with. Every team does, even when you have a couple of transfers or just people on your roster who've been there.
Into center, diving play won't get there by Avasado, and it's back-to-back RBI doubles for Texas Tech. They lead it 2-0.
Both those swings from Allred and then Quiroga, just power. They just do such a good job of using their bottom half to be able to get all into these pitches. That another barreled up swing, different off the bat with tremendous effort by Avasado, by the way. I thought that was going to be a SportsCenter top 10 play. She was on it. She had a beat just out of her reach.
18th double of the year for Texas Tech. That's second most in the country through a week and a half. And now this is an important stretch. You mentioned it a little bit ago, but Kate Drohan told us one of the keys this week against all of these all-star caliber lineups is avoiding the big innings when they're in the field. And this feels like it could go that way if they're not able to get an out here against the 9-hitter Caitlin Terry, who is very capable at the bottom of the order for Tech. She started the 5th inning rally earlier today against FSU with a double.
Well, and she said we have to control the momentum of the game, and I think that's exactly why you saw Michelle Gascoigne, their pitching coach, former national champion at Oklahoma, come out and call a timeout to just kind of slow things down. Maybe try to get a little pick off there to Emma Ray. Hey, don't forget about your good arm. Remember, she has a live arm back there. You have to be ready as a base runner, and what that does is when you are a base runner, it's in the back of your mind how good her arm is, and you don't feel like you can get as big of a lead. off any base.
"25 pitches in the second inning already for Emma Blay. Her 1-1.
Texas Tech is doing a really good job of taking some of these pitches too that are just a little bit off the plate, some that look like maybe they could be a strike, but really good take, just really confident knowing that looks like a ball to them.
Terry to short, and Donahue over to first, 2 outs. Big second out for Blay.
The next batter is the center fielder, Maya Davis.
And now back to the top of the order for Maya Davis. Slow roller eaten up by Blay and on to first. So she does avoid the big inning. Tech plates 2 on a pair of doubles. They lead it 2-0. Such a fun day already today in Clearwater. Earlier over on field 8, Florida State trying to make a comeback late. Logan Holloman scales the wall, then pivots and starts a relay to get a game-ending double play to win it 3-2 against FSU. Then late in the 7th, Georgia looking for the game-tying run. Jaden Goodwin says no. Throws out Nessa McMillan, and the Bulldogs, who lost earlier in the day to Oklahoma State, come back and upset Nebraska 6-5.
And left fielders have had a day today. We even saw a left fielder from Oklahoma State make a great throw home and get herself an assist. So it is the day of the left fielder. I'm sure somewhere Jessica Mendoza is just beaming with a big smile if she's listening, seeing all these plays from left field.
We had a really good one on our field earlier in the Oklahoma State LSU game that didn't make the highlight reel, but it was a rope.
Yeah, so it was Tia Warsa and that throw home, and it was just perfect.
To make a little mini Sports Center package of just left field throws to home from day one at Clearwater. Kansas Robinson leads it off for the Cats. Another one of the senior returners. An excuse me swing. Lincoln bobbles it, and Kansas Robinson is safe to lead off the second inning.
Tell she's just mad at herself knowing that she needs to make this play. Kind of a swinging bunt as a lefty trying to get her feet underneath her to go for a little bit of a toss to first base, but kind of pulled up too soon. And I'm sure that hit off the end of the bat had a lot of spin on it too, that just spun off of her glove, but that will go down as an error on Sam Lincoln.
True Medina.
I mean, True Medina, just a freshman, but you're going to see something from her this weekend if you're watching games. I think that maybe you don't usually see it, kind of like you don't usually see that. But she's a switch hitter, a true power switch hitter. She has power from both sides, so hitting from the right-hand side now. Her coach is checking on her to make sure that she's okay. Just a freshman, but a great athlete starting for this Northwestern team.
The next batter is shortstop, Bridget Donahue.
Can hear it right off the helmet. We've got all kinds of sounds in this game already early on. But here's the thing, Matt, is you can tell Sam Lincoln's frustrated, and that's why Tara Archibald is going to go out and talk to her, and Hunter Veach is going to talk to the infield defense. He's a defensive coach for Texas Tech, but you saw her get mad at herself about that error and then immediately carry over into the next pitch with that hit by pitch. And I'm sure too, like, if you're a pitcher on this staff, you want to be great. You want to be excellent. You want to prove your worth every time that you go out there, knowing that you're pitching with Caitlin Terry and with Nyjah Kennedy, two of the best arms in the country. And it's easy maybe to let those moments spiral. Nyjah Kennedy and warming up in the bullpen. She just got over there to start getting loose. Maybe we'll see her in relief like she did in game 1. They faced FSU.
Got the save against the Seminoles. And maybe for Lincoln, just a sophomore moment, right? Like somebody that hasn't pitched in a ton of high leverage moments. She did, as we mentioned, pitch in game 3 of the World Series last year, but she too is really new to this role that Jerry Glasgow is hoping her to fill this season.
I think it's just really easy at every level. I hear 12, 13, 16-year-old pitchers having these moments too, and they think that it's just them, but it's really, a lot of these college athletes can go through the same things of one mistake, then spiraling into another mistake. And that's why it's somebody like Coach Archibald, or even you saw it with Michelle Gascoigne on the other side, that momentum is so important not to let the inning get away from you. So they go out, have a conversation, just have a little bit of a reset, let her catch her breath, know that she's okay, and just get back after it.
Tying run aboard, nobody out in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Bridget Donahue, the starting shortstop at the plate for the Cats. Ball in the dirt and blocked well by Longi Kuroga.
Well, and you want to answer back here if you're Northwestern. You keep talking about this senior class that they have, and Donahue being a big part of it. They have 4 seniors who have each started over 100 games in their career, and Donahue being one of them. That's a huge luxury to have on a team with that experience.
Mile-high pop-up left field. Spearman all over it, drifting in for the first out. Well, and as we alluded to earlier, Amanda, this is a big weekend for Northwestern. Especially with the way last year went for this team. It was a bit of a roller coaster, certainly a slower start than they had hoped for. It took them literally until the final weekend. 2 top 10 wins at UCLA, final week of the regular season in the Big Ten, to solidify their spot in the NCAA tournament. And Kate Drohan said they were probably the last team in. Cunha, left field, and it is caught at the wall by Spearman. They will tag Robinson to third base. That was as deep as you could go without hitting it out. 2 gone.
You know, the air is a little bit thicker. It's a little bit more humid here tonight. That took Spearman all the way back against the wall as she was able to track it down. I mean, great catch by her to just feel comfortable with where that fence was and track it under these lights. But I thought that could sneak out of here. But the air is a little bit thicker and no wind at all. That flag on the flagpole is just not doing much out there.
Northwestern played here last year in the NFCA Classic, defeated a top 10 Duke team.
Well, and you mentioned that series at UCLA, that couple of wins at UCLA, most likely were the 2 wins that got them into the tournament. And that was the first opponent to win a series at UCLA since 2019. And this Northwestern team did it.
Pretty remarkable. 6 years.
How dominant that UCLA team is, and they're here.
Yep.
Clearwater, we'll see them tomorrow. They'll start out.
But Kate Drohan and company have really built a quiet contender out of the Big Ten. Year over year, they just find ways to get to the NCAA tournament. Remember, a couple years ago, they hosted a regional back in 2022, reached the World Series. And about 20 years ago, they reached the World Series in back-to-back years. First private school ever to do that. 2-2 misses wide, and the runner steals second base. That's True Medina, the freshman. And now the tying run in scoring position with 2 outs for the 9-hitter Kate Renshin with a full count. And Wrenchin draws a walk to load the bases.
What a great at-bat by Wrenchin out of the 9-hole, who earned herself a start in this game. It was last weekend, opening weekend. She started out the weekend as just a pinch runner, and then her first at-bat came in as a pinch hitter and hit a home run, a grand slam, actually.
And that was the first walk of the season issued by Sam Lincoln in nearly 12 innings pitched. And now does Jerry Glasgow make a change? It appears he might be.
You can definitely see the frustration. It started with that error in this inning. Remember how frustrated she got after not making that play, and then it spiraled right into that hit by pitch, and you can tell that she wants to be out there.
And it will be the reigning National Pitcher of the Year, Nyjah Kennedy, to take this circle with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the bottom of the second against Northwestern. Rare to see Nyjah Kennedy not just once, but twice in relief. All in the same day, and what a year she had last year. The National Pitcher of the Year.
Anytime that she steps into the circle, all eyes are on her. I mean, had a tremendous couple of years at Stanford and then came over to Texas Tech. She is a dominant power pitcher, throws in 70, 71 mile an hour explosive rise ball, and has that knee buckling changeup that she has just developed as she's been playing college softball. And screwball and curveball to expand the zone. But let's face it, Nyjah Kennedy is known for her rise ball. She could throw it through the zone or get you to chase it up your eyes, like the way that we saw at the Women's College World Series. I mean, she wants that chase, but that changeup is the pitch that sets up everything else. The screw, the curve, the low rise. I mean, Nyjah Kennedy, just electric up in the zone. She was the National Player of the Year in 2024 when she was at Stanford. 2-time NFCA National Pitcher of the Year. A couple times she's won Conference Pitcher of the Year too, and just a 2-time first-team All-American. Should have gotten it her freshman year too, but there's actually an inning requirement that you have to meet to be able to be eligible to be an All-American, and she just missed it. I can't remember the exact number right now, but it's literally like an inning or two, something so small. She should be a 3-time All-American.
Pitched the 7th inning earlier today against Florida State, faced 2 batters. After that inning began with a leadoff single through just 9 pitches. Sam Lincoln, a learning opportunity after the error and then a hit by pitch. No hits in the inning for Northwestern, and yet the bases are loaded with now the go-ahead run aboard and the top of the lineup at the plate in the form of Grace Nito.
The next batter for the Wildcats, second baseman Grace Nito.
A lot of respect too for Northwestern to bring in Nyjah Kennedy in this moment, not let Sam Lincoln try to work out of it. Just Jerry Glasgow respecting Drohan and the program that she has made here.
Nito swings a heavy bat at the top of the lineup. 6 runs batted in this year, does have the lone homer. Chopper to short, and that play will end the inning. Nyjah Kennedy gets out of the bases loaded jam with 2 pitches and keeps this a 2-0 game after 2.
Texas Tech, Big 12 tournament champions for the first time. Texas Tech are on to the World Series for the first time.
First pitch swinging into right. Davis to the plate. Texas Tech has done it.
Record-setting season for Texas Tech, and a season of first will carry them into next year.
First Big 12 regular season championship, first Big 12 tournament championship, most wins, first regional host, first super, first Women's College World Series appearance. Amanda, they broke 22 program records last year en route to being 1 game away from winning it all.
Just truly a historic season. There's no other way to put it. 54 wins. And getting a pitcher like Nyjah Kennedy, I mean, that's a huge part to it, right? I mean, you have to have a great coaching staff, but when you in college softball, when you have a dominant pitcher, whether she's named Nyjah Kennedy or Jordy Ball or Carlin Pickens or Tegan Cavan, when you have a dominant pitcher like that, you always are a national championship contender. And that's what Nyjah Kennedy did. She made waves when she decided to get into the transfer portal, leaving Stanford and then going to Texas Tech, a team that didn't really have any true history, deep, rich history of softball. So they're going to make it.
And of course, the NIL deal was the headline. Became the first collegiate female athlete to sign a $1 million plus NIL deal. She, by the way, did that again this year. Bouncing ball to third, charging in Medina, and the freshman makes a sensational play at third base. So good, she got a round of applause from Amanda up here in the booth.
I just love good plays. I don't care who it's by, but that's a great play. Mia Williams is a really good athlete. She gets down the line very well. As a third baseman, you have to play that perfectly. Throw on the run by the freshman, True Medina, and she gets her out. Remember, she is the switch hitter at the plate. She hits for power on both sides, and she can play defense like that. True Medina is going to be a star that we're talking about for 4 years. What a great play.
Sister was a collegiate softball player, now coaches at a small school in Florida. Taylor Panel, second time through, singled in her first at bat.
And you saw Nyjah Kennedy down there warming up a little bit more, maybe not fully warm when she entered that game in relief, or entered that inning in relief of Sam Lincoln. Throwing a little bit more, making sure that she's ready to go.
Flared, left side, and Donahue backs up from short to make the play. That is the prep that Jerry Glasgow raves about when it comes to Nyjah Kennedy.
Next batter's the shortstop, Jackie Liss.
No one prepares more, perhaps, in their program. In fact, he told us a story that she video scouted her own team prior to an inter-squad scrimmage earlier this fall.
It's a competitiveness.
Who does that?
Intensity.
You see these girls every single day. You got to watch more video.
I think there's also though like the prep and experience of just watching video,
Sure.
like getting back into it. Like, what do I want to look for?
Nice inning by Emma Blay in the circle for Northwestern. 11 pitches, 3 outs. We will see Nyjah Kennedy back in the circle for Texas Tech when we return on a gorgeous night in Clearwater.
Nyjah Kennedy, just a great competitor. We saw her compete on that Women's College World Series stage. She's actually been there twice, once playing for Stanford and then once playing for Texas Tech, just leading the way, strikeout after strikeout, the Nyjah stomp, the rise ball, the changeup, the movement. Absolute electricity when she is in the circle, whether we're watching her pitch here in Clearwater or watching her pitch under the lights at the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. 77-17 record, a sub-1 career ERA, and approaching 1,000 strikeouts in her career, something that she'll likely get this season.
You too were a dominant pitcher in college, played in the Women's College World Series, and then had to come back the next year with a bullseye on your back, bullseye on the Aggies' back. What was that like for you, not only in the circle, but then your team in preparation, knowing you had all those expectations?
Well, the expectations can either fuel you or I feel like harm you and come from a place of fear. I mean, it just really kind of works one way or the other. And I feel like for Texas Tech, it's going to fuel them. Now, when you look at Texas Tech and see all the talent on their roster, the one thing I'm wondering is just how Jerry Glasgow is going to handle all these players who want to play. There's only going to be 9 batters in a lineup. There's only going to be 1 pitcher pitching at a time. So how is he going to handle all these great players who are used to playing, they're used to competing, they're going to find, many of them are going to find themselves in a different role. And I think that that's going to be a big challenge as the year goes on, just to keep everybody together. Culture is such a big part of winning a national championship and playing together as a team and getting everybody to row the boat forward in the same direction with the most power. And something that Oklahoma, we've seen them do with Patty Gasso so well in winning 4 straight national championships and playing with a big target on their back. I mean, they know how to do it.
Well, maybe there's something to draw from Oklahoma's experiences, although I might argue that this is something totally different in a lot of ways, Amanda, just with the way the rosters are constructed. Texas Tech, rather, going heavy in the portal over the last 2 years. And part of it was they had to. Coaching change last season, program that had never been to the Women's College World Series. They needed to go and get talent that could get them there. Because they got there, and the way in which they did, now it opens you up to even more of a talent pool.
Just a lot to balance, you know, a lot of competitors and great athletes. And you know, really to win a national championship, everybody has to have a role and feel like they have a role and be bought into that role on the team. Every single person. Can't be one bad egg. Everybody just has to be completely bought in. You have to have a little bit of luck. But, I mean, Matt, let's face it. It is a national championship or bust for Texas Tech this year, don't you think?
I would think a lot of people feel that way as Red Raider Nation, fans of the sport in general that followed the progress of this team last year. I mean, they were very close to doing it last season against Texas. Took the Longhorns to Game 3. Nyjah Kennedy pitched 36 consecutive innings in Oklahoma City before they finally relieved her in Game 3 of the Champ Series against Texas. And maybe that one in the upper left-hand corner of your screen right before Texas Tech adds even more pressure and expectation this year.
I think when you have a dominant pitcher like Nyjah Kennedy on your staff and you have this talent around her, I really think it's all eyes on a national championship with the NIL deals that they've used to bring this roster in. And especially, too, like we might be having a different conversation if Texas Tech didn't do what they did last year and finish in second place. But when you finish in second place, there's really only one place better, and that's to win a national championship. And with this roster and this pitcher in the circle, I just think that's the expectation, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This team is working every single game this season, every single week to win a national championship.
1-2 count to Kaylee Avasado. 2 gone. Jerry openly talked about a national championship too on our call, which is interesting because usually in early season calls it could go one of 2 ways. Some coaches avoid talking about, oh, this is our goal is to win a national championship, or our goal is to not only get to the Champ Series but win it all, and we talk about that as a program. And then others like Jerry Glasgow really just take it head on. And maybe a lot of that too, Amanda, is just like, of course that's the expectation because of how last season went for this team.
Yeah, it's just a crazy story for Jerry Glasgow, just starting out as a softball dad, you know, like coaching his 3 daughters. Truly, just a softball dad. He wasn't a college coach when he had those daughters. Started coaching in travel ball and then just progressed his way to become a college coach, an assistant at Georgia, and then at Texas A&M, and then become the head coach at Louisiana, and then now here at Texas Tech with all eyes on him and this program.
he was 53 years old when he took his first head coaching job. Sort of a late bloomer by comparison to so many that have reached particularly the level that he has, which is the Champ Series, the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. 2-0 to Emma Ray is a strike.
One thing that I've noticed about Nyjah early on this year, she's not getting the strikeouts that we're used to seeing her get. In that relief outing against Florida State, and that one inning, no strikeouts for her there. Through the complete game against Texas A&M, all 7 innings in College Station that I referenced last weekend. I think had 5 strikeouts there. Opening weekend, 8 strikeouts and 41 batters faced. So finding different ways to get outs, but not having as many swings and misses that we're accustomed to.
Has 8 strikeouts and 13 innings pitched this season. Part of that could be, too, Amanda, that they really shut her down in the fall. Very little throwing, in the words of Jerry Glasgow. Opted instead for rest and recovery, given how much they rode her last year.
They just shut her down, and they felt like for long term, that's what was for the best. Just kind of nagging little things, maybe holding her back, just wanting to get her physically right. And believe that as the season goes on, she's going to get better and be her best in May.
2-out walk drawn by Emma Ray to extend the inning on the reigning National Pitcher of the Year.
I've seen some quality at-bats from this Northwestern team.
Next batter is the first baseman, Kansas Robinson.
Well, it's one of them, Emma Ray right there.
We keeping you awake, Coach Glasgow? Some of the great facial expressions from a dugout that you will find anywhere in America this year.
You know, I've known him for a really long time. Played travel ball against him when I was growing up. His daughter Erin was about the same age as I am, and then I played with Erin 1 year at Texas A&M. I was a senior, she was a junior. She transferred in from Notre Dame. So, you know, I know Jerry as, you know, my friend's dad that's on my team, you know, and seeing him as a travel ball coach. I've known him for a really long time, but I know him as Erin's dad, you know, from our World Series run my senior year, and I just enjoyed every bit of that as a softball dad.
.24 pitches in Kennedy's innings so far. Again, 1 strike away from getting out of it with a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. Final game of day 1 here in Clearwater.
So they're trying to throw that screwball a little bit more to these lefty hitters too. And her rise ball, we're not seeing it expand up in the zone as much. She's trying to throw that pitch more through the zone. But big pitch right here to the senior in Kansas Robinson to see if they can get a couple on board and put a little pressure against her.
Robinson goes down swinging. There's your strikeout from Nyjah Kennedy to get out of the 3rd.
And a little emotional too, a little sass after this strikeout. Gave up a 2-out walk and then sat down Kansas Robinson. Screwball on the outside corner for the K.
Welcome back to the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Sun has set on day 1, our final game of the day, featuring Northwestern and the top team in the country, Texas Tech, with a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the 3rd, Kate Drohan joins us. Coach, appreciate your time. You returned 90+% of your offensive production from last year, and I'm curious, where is the biggest area of growth that you've seen from your group as a whole between the end of last year and the beginning of this one?
Well, I really like what we've done physically. We definitely improved some power, you know, but they're playing hard, they're playing tough, and they're playing together.
Coach, how did you decide who was going to get the ball in your one game today going up against an offense like this Texas Tech team has?
Yeah, well, Emma Blay had a great outing last Sunday, and we really want to keep the ball down against them. She's doing a nice job, and she's using her changeup really well. So we'll look to keep see how far we can go with her here, but we like her outing so far.
She set down 5 in a row. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Go Cats.
She has done a good job of keeping that drop ball down the zone, working off the plate to the point where several of these pitches that she's thrown look like they could just be a pitcher's pitch type strike, a little bit off the edge. Umpire not giving it to her, but you can tell that's the game plan. Keep the ball down at the knees to try to keep the Texas Tech hitters in the ballpark, like we talked about as one of our keys to the game. And that changeup has been working well. Just walked one batter, but that is a batter that came around to score.
Really, outside of those back-to-back doubles she gave up in the second inning, has been in total control of this game. But Tech taking advantage of that leadoff walk that you mentioned to start the second inning. And it was Alana Johnson, who's at the plate here, who got that inning started with the walk.
I remember they had that quick defensive timeout where Michelle Gascoigne came out after the Quiroga double that scored the second run of the game, and that timeout settled everything down, talking to Belay and talking to the defense, and that is when she started that run of sitting down 5 straight.
Working on her 3rd strikeout here. Much more efficient 3rd inning. It's a bouncing ball to short, and Donahue makes the play. 20-plus pitches over the first 2 innings for Blay, just 11 last inning. Second time through the order here, feels like she's settling into a bit of a groove.
Michelle Gascoigne, the pitching coach for Northwestern, such a big part of this program. She's been there for a while now, but Strohan and this pitching staff have a ton of confidence in the way that she works with pitchers, the way that she calls pitches.
Spearman gets it through. Donahue wasn't sure how to play that. Looked like she initially wanted to go glove up, then flipped it late, and the ball finds left field.
Yeah, you could tell that she's kind of expecting a hop here. Kind of a bouncy ball that then just stays down. You saw the first couple of hops be big, and then it just stays down. So she was at first almost like a catcher, expecting one to be about belt high when she was down in her legs, and it just stayed down and went underneath her glove. But definitely go down as an E6 for the senior.
Defense was a point of emphasis for Kate Drohan, whose team had 9 errors in their opening weekend. 5 on the left side of the infield, which does look a little bit different this year. Freshman True Medina at shortstop, with Avasado moving over to center field. So still working out some of the kinks, so to speak, defensively.
Well, Coach Strohan talked about getting stronger and wanting to increase their power numbers, something that they circled in the offseason that they wanted to get better at. And they have a new strength and conditioning coach, Ben Yeager, who she has given a lot of credit to for the overall athleticism and speed. I mean, already hit opening weekend, they hit 9 home runs, and it took 16 games last season for them to hit 9 home runs last season, and they did that already opening weekend, which is impressive, and that work in the weight room paying off in a big way with Ben Yeager.
Fly ball into left field, headed towards the wall, and it shoots off the wall off the bat of Lauren Allred. A double puts Spearman at third base, and with still 1 out, 2 in scoring position for the Red Raiders.
Second extra base hit, or second double for Lauren Allred, this time going with the pitch. Bit of an inside out swing. That pitch trying to get into the inner half and just doesn't get in enough. She's able to send that one of the deepest parts of the field over down by the left field line. But how about Lauren Allred? Crushed a double to right center, more of a line drive, and then there showing off her opposite field power toward the left side. It's the area of the lineup that did the damage back in the second inning when they scored those 2 runs.
Pinch runner coming in. It's Logan Holloman. She will come in for Spearman at third base.
Pinch running number 7, Logan Holloman.
Another opportunity for a big inning for Texas Tech. And remember, the last time, as you mentioned, this lineup did some damage in the second inning. Emma Blay was able to get 2 quick outs after back-to-back doubles and keep it a 2-run game. Trying to dance out of some trouble again here in the 4th. And we are going to have a pitching change instead. It will be Signe Dose coming in when we return. Back after this.
Well, they can do some different defensive shifts whenever she's in the circle because she fields her position so well. Bit of a limited off speed, throws the ball with good velocity. You can hear that glove popping in her warm-up pitches, confident curveball, and she'll go to her rise ball, trying to do some swings and misses. And this is big time opportunity that she'd love to get some swings and misses with 2 runners in scoring position. A strikeout would be huge here, or a ground ball to the infield.
You mentioned hard thrower, super athletic. Because of that, Kate Drohan told us they're able to shift defenses a little bit differently when she's in the circle because of how well she defends her position. Right now, all 4 in the infield hovering close to home plate to try to keep this a 2-0 game. Quiroga, high fly ball to center. Avesado there. Holloman will tag home, and it's 3-0 Red Raiders as Allred moves up to third.
Good quality at bat there. Executing a fly ball to center field and being able to score a run. Quiroga has some big time power. The ball comes off of her bat just different. Sounds different.
Has driven in a pair of runs in this game. And now the 9-hitter Caitlin Terry, whose name you will hear often this year, both in the circle and at the plate. Former UCLA star. And boy, she's really battled injuries over the first 2 seasons of her career, even as a freshman. Started that year in a brace, wound up the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. And then last year, remember, she was on a pitch count until the end of March. Still exceptionally effective for the Bruins. This year, though, healthy, Amanda, coming into the season.
A bit of a smaller player, too. I mean, she just is able to generate such great power when she's pitching, power off of her bat in terms of doubles, and has that home run power, too. And she's just not a very big player.
Draws a 2-out walk to flip the lineup over to Maya Davis. Third time coming to the plate today for the Tech leadoff hitter. Davis riding a 7-game hitting streak, seeking her first hit of the night against Northwestern. And Tech looking for some production from this part of the order. Top 4 just 1 for 8 so far today against Northwestern. Oh, what a play at third. Medina, the freshman, with a dart to first. Definitely saving at least one run and gets Northwestern out of the inning.
She's special, man. Maya Davis looked back almost like, oh, I thought that was going through the infield. You stop that? That's a freshman at the hot corner.
Come back to the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Night has fallen on day one. Take a trip with us down the street. Just down the road from Eddie Seymour Softball Complex, where Texas Tech has a 3-run lead. Tara Archibald joins us, associate head coach for Texas Tech. Coach, appreciate your time. You already had a high leverage, highly competitive game earlier on today against Florida State. How do you guys balance then getting ready for another one later on tonight?
Yeah, it's tricky this time of year, but you go to the bus, enjoy that for about maybe 30 minutes, and then reset the mind and come back out and get ready to play again.
Tara, what are you seeing so far out of Nija's outing?
Yeah, she's struggling with the mound a little bit, so it's getting her back leg caught a little bit. So trying to figure out the dirt a little bit, but man, she's battling like she always does and finding ways to get outs.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Interesting, and you can see her, Amanda, swiping at the rubber there, trying to figure out some more comfortable footing.
So you see this black piece of her cleat here. She's kind of moving around, I would tell you, but you see her trying to mess with the mound, just trying to get it sorted out. But this black thing, there you go, is going to cover her cleat so that it doesn't get holes in it from when she's dragging. Just usually, I don't know, I feel like it kind of blends in a little bit, but it's a dipped pitching toe that you put over the cleat because it drags on the ground. That friction causes heat and kind of creates some holes in the toe of your cleat, which obviously you don't want because cleats are expensive, and you'll do this at any age as a pitcher. But just something kind of neat and technical that maybe you just don't talk about or think about very much with a pitcher, but those cleats need to be able to last a long time, and you're throwing so many pitches over time. Even that pitching, the dip toe starts to wear out, like you see that Nija already has going on early on in the season. See, it's already starting to wear down a bit. But man, she is not happy with this mound, huh? The entire time we've been talking about her pitching toe, she's been messing with the dirt, trying to get it sorted out and feel better about it.
Couple of defensive changes for Texas Tech, including behind the plate. Victoria Valdez.
And here's why that dip toe is so important. It's what drags against the ground, and you don't want holes in your cleats. You want that dip toe to take the brunt of the work against the ground.
Victoria Valdez now behind the plate, and Haley Toney at short.
Vic Valdez was the catcher that you saw at the World Series that Nija worked with a lot last year. And then Haley Toney was a freshman last year who also started at shortstop. You had 3 different catching options for Texas Tech this year with Jasmine Burns and Quiroga, who started this game, then Vic Valdez, the veteran who was there last year. So I'm interested to see as this year goes on, who's going to catch Nija, who does she feel most comfortable pitching to. I think that there will likely be conversations going on with Nija or Caitlin Terry or Sam Lincoln about who they like to throw the best to. I mean, you have several great options behind the plate with the additions of Burns and Quiroga to the roster who transferred in.
Second strikeout of the game for Kennedy.
Number 8 strikeouts in just over 13 innings pitched, and now she has back-to-back strikeouts in this game, going to her screwball or a low-rise ball in the inner half there to True Medina. Popping the glove, Vic Valdez framing it up right there in the inside corner. They have worked so well together. They have so much history together last year in that Red Raider run.
An embarrassment of riches on this Texas Tech roster like we've talked about. Still Nija swiping at the rubber and moving dirt around behind it.
You know, you might think it's silly or like not important, but as a pitcher, you use the ground so much in so many different ways when you push out, when you get into a launch position, go in your wind up, when you're dragging, when you're landing. I mean, your feet in that ground force is such an important part of what you do, especially when you're as explosive as somebody like Nyjah Kennedy. You want to feel that the ground is flat. You want to feel that it's not moving around with the dirt underneath you. A lot of things that can just kind of get in the way. And as a pitcher, it's crazy. You just kind of feel it all.
Oh, 2. How about 3 straight strikeouts for Nyjah Kennedy? 2 gone in the 4th.
And Vic Valdez gave her a good little point, getting this changeup down through the zone. It had been up a little bit earlier in the game, but that pitch is money. 3 strikeouts in a row for the first time this year for Nyjah Kennedy. Look at Vic Valdez, too. I'm just really liking the way that she receives. We saw her again just be a great receiver for Nyjah last year, worked so well together. Probably not going to have the bat that Quiroga and Burns has, so Jerry Glasgow and his coaching staff going to need to make some decisions.
Izzy Cunha, who had a deep fly ball out to left field back in the 2nd inning, making her 2nd plate appearance of the night. A ball that nearly reached home run heights. A grin from Nyjah Kennedy. She wanted it. Half her team thought it was a strikeout.
Hitting 71. When I was watching her pitch in College Station against A&M, I don't think I saw one pitch on the scoreboard that was over 70 miles an hour. That one popping up on our radar at 71 miles an hour, something that Jerry Glasgow feels like the velocity will just start to ramp up as the year goes on. And he had said after she took that time off, she came back pitching 63 to 65. So you see that that progression is just slowly increasing, and that we'll just continue to see that, and really focusing on her spin too, something that she takes a lot of pride in, not just the velocity aspect of things.
Jerry told us early in the year he noticed her sneaking glances at the scoreboard to see how fast her fastest pitches were. He said, stop it. I know you're a competitor. I know you want 74 right now. Just let it come as it will over the course of the season.
It's a good little at bat that Cunha is putting together. 8th pitch of the AB coming. Just fouling off these 1-2 pitches.
Switching out the lumber. One-two count. This is inside.
It's a great at bat too, and anytime you're facing quality pitchers like we have in this tournament, the more pitches that you can see out of their hand, the harder you're making them work, the more excited you're getting in the dugout about your chances.
Cunha pop up. Kennedy sets down the side. 1, 2, 3 for the first time tonight for Texas Tech pitching. They lead it 3-zip after 4. Back at Clearwater, Top of the fifth, 3-0 lead for the Red Raiders. Have had a couple of potentially big innings that have been stunted by Emma Blade and Signe Dose. Credit to the Wildcats pitching. Dose back in to start the fifth, her second inning of relief. Taking on the top portion of the lineup, Mia Williams in the 2-hole. Leads it off for the Red Raiders.
Nice rise ball up and in on the hands of Mia Williams, who's 0 for 2 tonight. And in her first 21 plate appearances of the season, she reached base in 15 of them. Her on base percentage just insane to start the season.
Medina eats up the high hop. Boy, is she slick. The first year at third base. One down in the fifth.
Isn't she fun? So excited that we get a chance to watch her for 4 years. Just great range, can handle a lot of different ground balls, hit at her, and just very good arm. Quiet night for Mia Williams tonight. A strikeout and 2 ground balls to Medina.
Medina was not highly recruited out of high school despite being a true power hitter from both sides of the plate. And despite being thought of widely at the time as the top shortstop in the state of Illinois. But Northwestern saw something in her that other power conference teams did not, and I think they got it right.
And she's surrounded by veterans, which I'm sure just makes her feel really comfortable being a freshman over at third base. But Donahue and Nito and Robinson, all seniors.
Oh, that ball is dropped by Kelsey Nader. Well, it looked like she had a good beat on that ball. Timed the slide. Just popped out as she was squeezing her mitt.
And that's the other senior out there in right field. I'm sure she's kicking herself that she didn't come away with this out. Hits the heel of her glove instead of in that comfortable spot that's going to squeeze around it nice and easy. Man, bummer. Will actually go down as a single for Taylor Panel. I had written down E9.
Me too. Another test of Nader back at the wall. Tracks that one nicely. 2 down as Panel goes back to first.
Had a good read on that. Really good route to that ball. Pumping her arms with her glove on. She knew exactly what she wanted to do with that. The route that she wanted to take. That was well done, making up for that error.
Batter's right fielder, Alana Johnson.
Sorry, hit, but dropped ball.
I knew what you were saying. I knew what you were getting at.
Northwestern plays a really challenging schedule. Coach Strohan talked about wanting to challenge her team this year, and coaches will often feel that when they have a really good veteran leadership core like this Northwestern team does with their senior leadership.
Called strike on the appeal to first. 2-1. Long fly ball to center. Avasado drifting underneath to make the third out of the inning.
The hotel over the bridge, seeing the water is the best.
To the beach, straight to the beach. On our off day, I was fortunately able to go to the beach and just sit and just enjoy like the water and the sunshine and the sand, all the things.
Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough with you. This is your 7th year being here. With all the games you've called, have you ever had a chance to just go sit on the beach?
I walked on it one time, and on that walk, it really is clear water, by the way.
It's amazing.
Beautiful water.
Yeah.
I ran into the pitching coach who was then at Arizona, Taryn Mowat. Like, just ran into her on the beach.
Yeah.
So.
not many tournaments around the country where you can, during your time off, go to America's favorite beaches.
Yeah,
The white sandy beaches of Clearwater.
Not a lot of time, but it's just across the street from us, so we could just wander over to the beautiful beach.
I did do that last year, actually. I took a dip even in the ocean.
How did it feel?
It was lovely. Us Midwestern folk don't get a whole lot of salt water.
Yeah, I noticed that. Couple of Missouri girl and Northwestern girl talking about the beach for sure.
And they don't care how cold it is. It could be 50 and they're still going to the beach. By the way, Kate Drohan told us they've practiced outside once since November in Chicago. How grateful do you think the Wildcats are to be here in South Florida?
Well, and it's an interesting time for their program because they're getting a new stadium built. Some renovations, and so they're actually going to be playing at the ballpark at Rosemont, which is where the AUSL plays out of as well. It's right by the O'Hare Airport. It's where the NPF Bandits played their game. It's just a professional softball stadium, so that's where Northwestern is going to be playing their home games out of because getting some new digs.
Exciting time for Northwestern athletics overall. $1 billion football stadium opens the new Ryan Field this year. The $25 million softball stadium will open next year. Flared into left field. First base knock of the day off Nyjah Kennedy. It's Grace Nito at the top of the order for the Wildcats, aboard with one out.
Yeah, that'll work. Just dropping it in to left field, keeping her barrel a little bit more above the ball. Somewhat off the end of the bat, but I'll take it. Getting Nito on and trying to get some more base runners. Down by 3, which not too bad, but against a pitcher like Nyjah Kennedy, that 3 runs can sometimes feel like 8 or 9.
Just the first hit since the first inning for Northwestern. Can that spark a 5th inning rally for the top of the order? Here's Kelsey Nader.
Well, and I know coming into this tournament, Northwestern was really going to lean on the pitcher that they faced last weekend in terms of the experience and the at-bats that they had when they faced Arizona State and Kenzie Brown, their senior pitcher.
Oh, that goes off the arm of Kennedy, and the flip at second by Mia Williams. The tag by Haley Toney. Fantastic, and remember, there's no video review, no challenges. Despite that, Kate Drohan out of the dugout.
I definitely hit off of Nyjah Kennedy. Her wrist, maybe, and then Mia Williams moving toward the ball. I thought it looked like runner at second was out, no problem. But it did take that toss a little while to get there, huh? Hard to see with the bag being covered by dirt after that and just the timing of that play, but we can't take another look at that.
Umpiring crew getting together on this. Robbie Guest, Jose Chaparro, and J.C. Bartley, and they will confirm the call on the field. 2 outs.
Hard hit ball off the bat of Nader, though, right back up the middle of the field. And Mia Williams, again, just reacting, moving that way up the middle. Tosses it with her glove, so that's what took a little while for it to get there. That really was close, closer at second base than I had originally thought on the field.
That's a heck of a play by Mia Williams.
Yes.
Kaylee Avasado behind home and out of play.
That's the thing, too, when you bring in somebody like Mia Williams to your program, you get all the athleticism that she naturally has, but you get her experience with working with somebody like Tim Walton, both at the plate and on defense. Tim Walton is known as one of the best defensive coaches in the country, so not only can she bring it when she steps into the box, has a ton of natural power, but her defensive glove at second base is going to bring those skills that she learned at Florida with her to Texas Tech.
You might say she learned from one of the best ball handlers ever. Dad, Jason Williams, 13-year NBA vet. She had an excellent play. That is an excellent strikeout, the 4th of the night for Nyjah Kennedy. And it's 3-zip Red Raiders.
Starting to see these Nyjah Kennedy strikeouts pile up now. It is her 4th strikeout of this game coming in. Remember, she only had 8 strikeouts in 13 innings. Feeling good in the circle in Clearwater under the lights.
From Nyjah Kennedy, will we get that matchup? And then, not to be forgotten, Carlin Pickens potentially getting the start in the nightcap. You mentioned him earlier today as the big 3 in our sport right now. We get them all on the same day, the final day at Clearwater.
Yeah, just kind of ending with a bang there with those 2 matchups. We love to see it. Florida State's been in this tournament every year.
Ball pops out of the glove of the first baseman for Northwestern on another nice play by True Medina. Boy, she's been tested a lot tonight.
She really has, and that was going to be another great play by her, but that throw pulled Robinson off the bag toward right field over there, and it's going to be a leadoff base runner for Texas Tech.
Lauren Allred comes to the plate. Allred, pair of doubles, RBI and a run scored back in the 2nd inning. Takes that off the fingers.
Jerry Glasgow loves hitting, loves offense, and loves a home run as Lauren Allred gets hit with that back arm. And Jerry Glasgow has been known for his hitting coach abilities. Last year, this Texas Tech team had 60 home runs and scored 407 runs. This year, his goal with this offense is try to get those numbers to 90 home runs and 500 runs.
Good bunt by Longy Quiroga. Moves Spearman and Allred up. Crazy numbers that you just mentioned.
It's his goal and his expectations, and it did seem like, especially toward the end of the year, that they just struggled to score runs for Nyjah. Just didn't put up big numbers that you're used to seeing Jerry Glasgow like be comfortable with a Jerry Glasgow offense for the numbers that he's used to.
And that was part of his pitch to getting Nyjah, was telling her, we are going to score X amount of runs for you every night. You are going to be part of that, because he knew she wanted to swing the bat as well. It's something she missed a little bit in her time at Stanford. And there he is again, Amanda. Just one of the best teachers and minds offensively in the game. He's been known as that for a long time. Helped Georgia make the Women's College World Series. Helped Texas A&M make some deep runs in the SEC, and now is a head coach at Texas Tech.
Yeah, and the way that he coaches his players, too, is kind of unusual in the sense that he just likes them to practice hitting off of pitching machines. So not a lot of tee work goes on with Jerry Glasgow and his offense, but he travels these pitching machines around like he's done many, many, many years. They actually shipped the pitching machines to Clearwater. So they are here. But for many years, Matt, he drove the pitching machines himself in his truck to wherever his teams, wherever it was, A&M, Georgia, Louisiana, wherever they were going to be. He's driving the pitching machines to get them there.
Texas Tech this year said, not anymore.
Yeah.
You're not driving these in the back of the pickup truck. We can afford to ship them for you.
I'm just wondering if we can get Holly Rowe to find out how much it costs to ship a pitching machine. Like, how much?
Outrageous.
What's the cost there? Because I'm feeling like when I don't know, I send out like a shirt to somebody, it's a lot more than I'm expecting that shirt to be Man, it's kind of high
What
prices.
kind of box can you fit a pitching machine in, by the way?
I don't know. I really need to know the details here.
Valdez goes down on strikes. Nice pitch by Signe Dose, and one she probably had to have with 2 in scoring position and now 2 outs in the 6th.
Yeah, and Kate Drohan even talked to us about pitch calling and her pitchers and understanding there's a time for pitch to contact and there's a time for a strikeout. And with 2 runners in scoring position, that absolutely is time for a strikeout. That curveball had a little bit of up jump to it. I like the way that Dose is bringing the velo, has really good spin, great mechanics. And one more thing that's unusual to Jerry, not just the machines, but he started collecting gifts of hitters and swings, because Lou Harris-Champer, who's the head coach at Georgia, said that when he was the offensive hitting coach there, that he needed to be able to visually explain anything that he was trying to get the girls to do. So what he started to do was collect gifts, and he has over 5,000 now. And for the first 4 to 5 years, he said he would spend 3 to 4 hours a day collecting gifts. And now he has an example of everything that he could ever want to show any of his players as an example.
That's savant level work right there. I thought one of the interesting things about why he likes using the machines is because he said with the machine, I can affect mechanics without ever really discussing it specifically with the hitter, getting into their head, making them overthink things. Just by adjusting the machine, Amanda, can get them to change where maybe their hands are sitting when a ball is coming home. That is roped into left field. He'll like that swing from Maya Davis. It drives in 2 on a 2 RBI double.
Maya Davis is so good. I really hope that she has a chance to get drafted to play in the AUSL and become a pro. The fact that she just went up and got this is at her eyes. Are you kidding me? Mind you, too, goes to her slap for the first time in this game. She had been swinging away, but goes to her slap, hand-eye coordination to get her barrel up to that pitch and on top of it for a couple of RBIs.
The 4th Texas Tech double out of their 6 total hits tonight. Mia Williams seeking her first hit of the night. In the air to right field. Back on it is Nader and makes the catch to end the inning. Another 2-run inning for Texas Tech. They lead it by 5, middle of the 6th. Hitch your wagon to a star. Well, there's not just one anymore. Jerry Glasgow, of course, a star as a head coach. 2-time pitcher of the year, Nyjah Kennedy, a national star. Caitlin Terry's been a star in her career. 41 wins, 2.50 ERA, former Pac-12 freshman of the year. Taylor Panel, Jasmine Burns, Mia Williams all transferring in. Stars at their respective programs. And how about the tip of the hat?
I can't.
That's next level.
I mean, we even had a Burns, like a catcher's mask in the wagon because Jasmine Burns, is a catcher, and we had some gloves in there. But really, I think it was the neighs for me from the horses and the sound effects. That was classic.
Yeah, with the horse feet.
I don't even know what I just looked at, but it was fantastic.
Maybe we'll probably see it again. We got Texas Tech a few more times.
But they sure did bring in some stars into this program that had a lot of playing experience, a lot of Women's College World Series experience that they brought in too.
But it's so interesting because there's a little bit of truth to that sort of tongue-in-cheek graphic package that we just showed you. Last year, national perception was Tech hitched its wagon to one star who led them to the Women's College World Series, Nyjah Kennedy. Now, there's a little bit of truth to that, of course, but there were a lot of good players on that roster last year. I think it's inarguable this year, Amanda, that they have completely upped their game in terms of depth, talent and star power on this roster.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been the talk of college softball, the team that they've put together. And Jerry did tell us too, or I think he said on a podcast, he started to recruit on campus the very next day after the Women's College World Series, went straight to work. But he felt like he needed to take advantage of all the momentum that they created and the run that they had in terms of recruiting. So in terms of bringing in freshmen and then recruiting the next year's class, and then also, of course, the transfers that they brought in with this long list of just all-star after all-star.
8 transfers. Again, the #1 transfer portal class in the nation for Jerry Glasgow, who told us that riding the lineup every day has been an impossible task, and he thinks, barring some things unforeseen, that he'll just continue to ride with the hot hand, whoever that is. And it might not even be, Amanda, who started last weekend, but a whole new set of starters potentially.
He said that he really didn't even have time to reflect on their run until like August, September, and October, because June and July were just hitting the recruiting trail so hard to just work hard to build the next year's classes.
And anymore with the advent and explosion of the transfer portal in all sports, particularly at the power conference level, it seems that that is the way coaching is trending across the country. Kennedy with her 5th strikeout. Speaking of transfer portal players, came over 2 years ago from Stanford.
Going to that screwball a lot tonight. It's a strikeout on this screwball here.
The next batter is True Medina.
Two outs and the base is clear for True Medina.
Nice pitch that she's settled into with that changeup, dropping it down to 56. I mean, when you can throw a changeup at 56 like that, and then a rise ball or a screwball at 70, 71, it just is next level for her. And there's the pitch sequence, right? Changeup, then high heat up and through the zone. And, you know, her goal is pitching the 2028 Olympics.
She keeps humming it in there like that. That won't be an issue. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning.
6 on the night for Nyjah Kennedy. A little low rise this time, but she's bringing her screws. She's bringing her changeup. Everything working for Nyjah Kennedy.
Take on the meat of this Texas Tech Red Raiders lineup.
Trying to keep the score exactly where it's at. The junior, the heavy drop ball entering this game, trying to keep the ball down. The power hitters 3, 4, and 5 coming up.
Texas Tech, #1 team in the country, 6-0 with 5 run rule victories. The one real test that they've had was Texas A&M. Beat the Aggies 3-2. One of just 4 non-conference ranked matchups this year for Jerry Glasgow's team. And he told us we have such little room for error because of that, Amanda. They are so locked in, even so early in the season.
Well, their non-conference strength of schedule is not going to be very good at all. And when it's come down to the selection Sunday, they've put a lot of emphasis on that non-conference strength of schedule in terms of seeding. So he feels like their record needs to be pretty squeaky clean in order, you know, knowing that, okay, if we're not going to have a great non-conference strength of schedule, then we need to get some points over here with only having a couple of losses, and for sure in his mind not losing to any of those teams in the non-conference schedule, and even more so being able to add some quality wins.
Medina deep in the hole, and Aaron throw.
Some quality wins in this tournament, and like they played Texas A&M last weekend, because they're not going to have a lot of opportunities for those top 25 wins.
So this is remaining games against the top 10 after Clearwater. Texas Tech has just one, far fewer than almost anyone else currently in the top 15.
So this is why this tournament is incredibly important for them, to win these games, to add to their resume. There's not a lot of opportunities for them, and with their non-conference schedule, they're just going to need to pile up as many wins as they possibly can for their record and win percentage.
There's going to be a discussion here with our umpiring crew. Kate Drohan came right out of the dugout and was pointing at the first base bag as if to say.
So it's about what she does to maybe make a motion toward second base after the overthrow. I don't think that I saw that. And you see Hunter Veach pointing to remind her to get on the white bag. Maybe as she was going to turn around, you could call that an attempt to go to second base, but I felt like it was just kind of getting her feet underneath her to head back. It didn't look. So maybe right there, because that left foot went over the foul line a little bit towards second base. But also, point being is when you go back to the base after you run through. So when you're going from home to first base, you need to touch the orange bag, or the new safety bag that you're going to see all across college softball this year in a rules change year. You're going to see that in every game. But when you come back to the base, you have to go to the white base. If you were on the orange base and say the first baseman had the ball and tagged you after you walked back, you'd be out. So going to first base, got to touch the orange. Coming back and after that, you got to be on the white.
Flared off the end of the bat of Jackie Liss. Nice track and right by Kelsey Nader. One down. If we had video replay in Clearwater, do you think that would have been overturned and she would have been called out?
The next batter is right fielder, Alana Johnson.
Crapshoot.
It's so hard to tell. I don't think so, because I didn't look like any type of motion.
Attempt, right, right.
I'm even trying to think about if that's reviewable, to be honest, and a good old Appendix G. Which
Slow roller, what a flip at second base by Grace Nito. 2 outs as Panel moves up to second base.
That was a great little nifty play, neat play by Nito. Good glove work there. No time to get the ball to her bare hand. She had to make that play with a scoop with her glove. Nice toss to one.
Two gone for Spearman. I beg your pardon, it's Holloman pinch hitting for Spearman here with 2 gone in the 7th. Snap throw down to second base by Emma Ray, who already has 2 pickoffs at second base this year.
A lot of different options that Jerry Glasgow is trying to see play out in these pre-conference games that they'll play. I think left field between Holloman and Spearman is one of them, and saw Jackie Liss start at shortstop and then Tony come in. I feel like Taylor Panel and Mia Williams and Lauren Allred. So third base, second base, and first base, and then Davis in center field are pretty much locked. Catcher, we've seen some rotation. And Jerry Glasgow had said too preseason, you know, Davis is going to be there in center field and she can cover so much ground that for right field and left field, he wants some more offensive options.
A tough play at first and not in time. Cunningham had to come a long way to get that ball from Holloman. Then up to third goes Panel.
The next batter's first baseman, Lauren Allred.
And now runners at the corners for Lauren Allred, who's reached all 3 times she's come to the plate so far tonight. And time called. Michelle Gascoigne going to the circle for Northwestern.
Lauren Allred has been hot up at the plate, so talking over how they want to pitch to her. Also a first and third situation with 2 outs. And we talked about the senior leadership for Northwestern. You find it right up the middle of the field with Donahue and Nito, 2 senior leaders that can deal with the first and third situation. A lot of experience, good softball IQ between those 2 players to help lead the defense, with Emma Ray with that great arm back behind the plate. Get a good look at the communication device that goes into her ear. There's this little pack on her gear that, and then she sticks it into her ear with that one-way communication that now we can have on offense, one-way communication. With the wristbands and calling signs. So technology has really entered our sport in a lot of different ways over the past couple of years.
One 1-0 to Allred. 5-0 lead for Tech. Trying to start their Clearwater tournament 2-0. Hard hit to second base. That'll do it. Northwestern down to their final 3 outs. We'll send the bottom 3 of their order to the plate when we return.
Into this game in the bottom of the second inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Got out of it and has since struck out 6 against Northwestern, mainly pretty much down in the zone. You'll notice with these strikeouts, it's really her screwball and her changeup, not having to change eye levels as much and go to the rise ball that's well above hitters' hands and head. But Nyjah Kennedy, 6 strikeouts, lots with her screw and her changeup, and then that last one, still trying to figure out that was a screw that went up a little bit or a low rise. But 6 strikeouts for Nyjah and 4 1/3. Remember, she closed out the game against Florida State, got the save in that 1-inning pitch. We've seen her in relief twice today. And we were talking about her pitching toe. Remember, it was like kind of crumbling. We were talking about she threw it off after a warm-up pitch, and so the pitching toe is really going to try to survive today / this weekend, as Vic Valdez just got hit with a foul ball, unfortunately. Right back to her. Not a good sign, Matt, if your dipped pitching toe is coming off the second weekend.
Or day 1 of Clearwater.
Yeah.
Still 3 days to go here.
Exactly. And it takes a while too, or I don't know what it's like anymore, but when we sent them off, like it took a little while to get a new dip toe back. And RIP, the dip toe that was on the like ballet toe of the tippy tip toe.
Does it feel, I don't know if you've ever had a toe dip fall off. I would imagine it feels different, does it not?
Maybe for a couple of pitches. It feels the worst though when it's just like hanging on there, like it probably was, because then you're dragging and you can feel that it's already kind of coming off. So that's why I got to a point in her warm-up pitches, she just grabbed it and tore it and then chucked it down on the ground.
The heck with this. I don't need it anymore.
The heck with this.
Working on her 7th strikeout. The heck with the toe dip. 3 straight strikeouts for Kennedy. 1 down to the 7th.
Going back to that changeup, 3rd strikeout of the night on her change. I feel like that changeup started to look better when Vic Valdez came in to catch her. I don't know if there's anything to that. It just seems like it started to level up once she came in.
That gets through the hole. Just the 4th base runner to reach against Kennedy since she entered the game with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. And it's Izzy Cunha aboard for the first time tonight.
I'm just quickly looking through my scorebook too. I don't think that they've gotten a runner to 2nd base with her in the circle. So it's just been hard to generate anything. No runner to 2nd, no runner to 3rd.
Grace Minarovich comes in to pinch run for Cunha.
But I think as a coach, you love seeing how your team is going to compete, and the fact that they get experience and ABs off of a pitcher like Nyjah Kennedy. I mean, that's why these teams come to the Clearwater Invitational, is you want your teams to face the best early in season, because then you know that they've seen the best and you'll put that in their back pocket as the season goes on. And learn from that experience, because just taking the reps and seeing the pitches out of her hand or any of these great pitchers that we have here is just invaluable experience that you get for the rest of your season. I said this before, I think that radar is a few miles an hour off at times. Nyjah Kennedy registering at 65. She's going to sit more at the 67, 68 range as she gets another strikeout there, her 8th. That's her relief outing. Again, going to this screwball, moving away from a left-handed hitter.
And here we were earlier in the night, Amanda, talking about how she only had 8 strikeouts all season coming in. Now
right.
8 tonight against Northwestern. And they will make a change for what could potentially be the final batter faced of the evening.
Three left-handed pitchers on this Texas Tech pitching staff with Chloe Riaceto, Caitlin Terry, and Sam Lincoln. Chloe Riaceto, by the way, was at Louisiana with Jerry Glasgow, and you'll remember when Oklahoma was on like a 73-game win streak, and Louisiana went into Norman and played them and beat them and broke up the win streak. It was Chloe Riaceto pitching.
By the way, Nyjah Kennedy's going to stay in the game.
Yeah, she'll stay in there. But how about, I mean, you're bringing in your 4th different pitcher, and she's the pitcher that you have on your staff that also has beat an epic Oklahoma team that during that time had won back-to-back-to-back national championships and beat them at their place.
The depth.
That's right.
Of this Texas Tech team is the envy of, I would think, most teams in the country. And we didn't even really get to Chloe Riaceto in our call because we ran out of time with Jerry Glasgow. That's how many people he's got on his roster that he just was gushing about. And of course, Chloe would be one of those.
Now we've seen Nyjah Kennedy start the game at first base against Florida State too. Just again, they're just trying to figure out all these puzzle pieces. Remember, Jordy Ball, when she's not pitching for Nebraska, she plays first base as well. Nyjah Kennedy led their team in home runs last season. Really saw her become a two-way player more than ever last season.
And that will do it. Holloman makes the catch. A 5-0 victory for Texas Tech, who goes 2-0 on day one of Clearwater.
The only team to do so, right? Everybody else splitting.
Another demonstrative victory for the #1 team in the country, now 8-0. For Amanda Scarborough, our entire ESPN crew, Matt Schumacher saying good night from Clearwater. We will see you tomorrow.